Hey guys, I want to talk about fire. Now, if you're going camping and you want to start a fire, how do you do it? Do you gather leaves, sticks, maybe some paper or grass? Do you use a blowtorch, some lighter fluid? Now most people start with some small sticks, maybe some paper, some leaves, and they get the flame going. But once it gets going, what happens next? Now some people will immediately grab some of the bigger logs and lay it on that little fire. And do you know what happens? The flame slowly starts to die out. The logs don't have time to heat up enough to catch fire. Essentially, it gets smothered. Now you could use a blowtorch or some lighter fluid to try to get it going again, and maybe you get that flame going again, but eventually it does die out once again. Now similar to the wise man who built his house on the rocks, the wise campfire starter will build his fire small and add to it in small increments. You start with small wood shavings, some kindling, maybe you add a little paper, some dry grass and leaves to it, and once that ignites, then you can start to add smaller twigs to it. And once that catches fire, you keep adding small twigs to it, slowly increasing the size of it so your fire slowly begins to grow. And eventually that fire is going to get hot enough and big enough to where you can start to add the slightly larger logs and slowly add larger pieces to the pile. And those larger pieces are what allow the fire to burn throughout the night. Now, why am I talking about fire? Because I love the analogy of building a campfire that we as men tend to take in the steps of openness, honesty, and transparency. Let me explain. Oftentimes we just want to skip the steps of building a fire and we just want the warm burning flame, right? We come clean, we share our thoughts, we think it's good enough, but we're still wondering why our wife, friends, and family are still not happy with us. Because we're not making those small, subtle, daily changes it takes to have a new life. Instead of taking the time to pick up small twigs and sticks to build us a small fire, what we do is we grab the largest log we can find and hold a blowtorch to it, hoping a flame catches, but eventually, guess what? It burns out. It doesn't matter how big and beautiful the log was that you found, there's no more fire, and you're left sitting there choking on the smoke. I like to think of the small elements that we add to the fire, the twigs and sticks and the dry grass and leaves, as steps of humility. And the blowtorch would be pride. We are trying to force the fire to do what we want in our life instead of taking those small steps to grow the flame. The beautiful thing is when we take the time to build the fire right, that fire eventually creates hot coals, and coals are hotter than the flame. It will actually burn for as long as you want it to, as long as you tend to it properly and add the right ingredients. One tiny stick can ignite with absolutely no effort, and there's no smoke. Without the small, humble steps, that log you want to ignite just smolders out. No coals, no flame, just charred wood and smoke. So I say all this to make this point. If you don't take those small steps of being humble, open, and honest each and every day, your fire is gonna burn out. The wood is just gonna smolder, and no one really enjoys the smoke you're blowing. Coming clean, being open, is not just a one-time event. It is a lifestyle change. You cannot hold a match to a log and expect it to bring warmth in your life. If you want your wife, friends, and family to enjoy what you have to offer, take those steps of humility and build your fire properly. Quit trying to blowtorch your way to a flame that is certain to die out. Be blessed.